These core traits, these common threads, this is going to become your checklist. If you have these traits, you are destined for long-term success. If you don't, it's time to start building them, or I'm going to be frank with you, you're not going to make it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I am grateful for all of the people that we have in our life that contribute towards giving us a spectacular life. And I mean teams of people. We have teams of people that run our personal brands that I'm so grateful for. Everybody that, takes care of the podcast and social media and just the entire team that runs our personal brands. I'm grateful for my Frello team and every just ounce of effort that they put into making this pivot over the past couple of years. I'm grateful to Lori's Golosi team. I'm grateful to the teams of people that take care of our personal life stuff too. It takes a village. It's wild. And when you end up with a lot of companies and a lot of moving parts and a lot going on in life, you cannot get it done without these teams of individuals contributing towards giving you a good life. And so there's not a moment that goes by that I am not grateful for every single person that just contributes towards this life that we've been pretty blessed to be able to build. And if you're like, what in the hell is this guy talking? What is the start of this podcast? What in the hell is he rambling about? I start every solo episode with something that I'm grateful for. And I do that so that you can stop and pause and remember to take inventory of what you're grateful for as well. I'm a firm believer, and if you listen to this show a lot, you know this. I'm a firm believer that if you don't stop and acknowledge what you have going in your favor, then it's like not having it at all. And we as complex humans, what do? We wake up every day, we just see what we're missing. And that sucks. And when all you see is what you're missing, then you're going to always come from a place of lack. But when you always take inventory of what you do have going for you, then you're always going to feel like, all right, I've got enough of a jumping off point. I can do this. And so that's why I start every solo episode with gratitude, so that you'll kind of stop and do the same thing too. And speaking of grateful, I am so grateful for every single one of you that have put yourself on the wait list for our brand new Mentor Collective Mastermind for businesses earning $25,000 to $500,000 per year. It's been years, 4 years to be exact, since Lori and I have had a program aimed at this crowd. And we've had so many people saying, hey, when are you going to bring it back? When are you going to bring it back? We didn't want to bring back the same old that we used to do. We wanted to rethink it entirely. And we wanted to be able to fulfill this one commitment. And that is this. This is the most hands-on, the most supportive mastermind on the internet. I promise. That's why it's taken us so long to build it. In other words, you're never going to want. We have got coaches for every area of your business that we have paid and put on salary so that you can literally send them your questions one-on-one about your businesses whenever they pop up and get a one-on-one answer. You don't have to pay for all these coaches anymore. You don't have to pay for all these other masterminds. You don't have to pay for all these other groups. We have gone out and hand-selected industry experts for every part of your business that you would need, and they're complimentary when you're a part of this program. We also made it accessible. You'll see the pricing right before the launch happens, April 29th, and you're only going to see it ahead of time if you're on this wait list. But you're going to see that we made it so accessible because right now, let's be honest, we're in times where good help and good mentorship also needs to be affordable. Because times are tight when you're building a business out there right now, especially when you're in that $25,000 to $500,000 per year range. And so every dollar counts, every penny counts. And I think you guys are going to be so shocked and so grateful for the amount of access that we're giving you, for how affordable it is. the other thing is Lori and I wanted to be highly involved. So you're going to be able to ask us your business questions live multiple times per month as well. The community is going to be second to none. The coaches, you name it. Everything in one package. You don't have to go out and piece it together anymore yourself. I'm so excited about it. So if you want to put yourself on the wait list, it's already growing pretty hot and heavy. It's the only way you're going to have a shot at getting into this program, to be honest, because of the accessibility. There's only so many people that we can have in the program to start this thing out. So it is going to be limited. So get on the wait list right now. Go hit pause and go to chrisharder.me/waitlist. You can also text and get on the wait list if you want. You can text the word waitlist to 310-421-0416. Again, just text the word waitlist to 310-421-0416. And whether you go to chrisharder.me/waitlist or whether you text it, it's going to give you first dibs. It's going to give you the cheapest investment of all the options. And it's going to give you a good 24-hour head start before anybody else is going to get a shot at some of those seats. And speaking of success, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Those of you that wonder, am I cut out for this? Am I made for this? Like, am I supposed to be an entrepreneur? Am I ever going to make it? Is this ever going to come together? First of all, you're not alone. Lori has those thoughts. I have those thoughts. All of our friends have those thoughts. Heck, I was out to dinner last night. The guy has a business that's making $90 million per year revenue. And his wife has an awesome business too. And they have the same doubts. They're like, God, is this thing ever going to pay off? You might hear that, like, what are you talking about? He's making $90 million a year. Well, no, the company is making $90 million a year. It doesn't mean you get to take that money out. Companies that size have so much overhead. Here's a little secret, by the way. When you build a big company, you're the last to get paid. You are the last to get paid. Like Frello, we have never taken a single paycheck or penny. Glossy, we have never taken a single paycheck or penny. It's been years. Our teams get paid, but we collect nothing. And that's kind of the nature of building a really big business. And so why do I share this? Well, we all have these doubts of like, is this ever going to pay off? Am I ever going to make it? And in having a lot of conversations with my highest performing friends, a lot of times we'll talk about, man, what's the core trait? If you could be good at one thing, or what's the common thread among all of us that we all seem to have made it? And that's what I'm going to share today. These core traits, these common threads of someone who's destined for long-term success. That's you. If you're wondering, this is going to become your checklist. If you have these traits, you are destined for long-term success. If you don't, it's time to start building them, or I'm going to be frank with you, you're not going to make it. So let's look at the first one. When I'm sitting around with my friends and we're talking, okay, what is that one thing, that magic bullet? It's an unwavering consistency in action. And this doesn't have to be perfect action. This doesn't even have to be the correct action. And that might shock you. It's just unwavering consistency in action. Because when you have consistency, it makes up for everything else. Lori and I are not the most talented people. I'd put us right in the middle of the pack when it comes to talent. But we're consistent as hell. We will show up when we're tired, just like we show up when we have energy. We will show up when we're burnt out, just like we'll show up when we're excited. We will show up when we're sick, just like we'll show up when we're healthy. We will show up when we don't feel like doing it anymore, just like we show up on day one. It's that consistency. And I want to stress that word, unwavering consistency. It's the same thing, same consistency that makes your relationship make it or not. Do you consistently pour into your relationships, your friendships, and your romantic relationships? Or do you stop pouring into them? Are you hot again, cold again, hot again, cold again? Unwavering consistency in anything, but especially your business, is that first core trait where if you have it, you know you'll make it. If you don't have it, you're not going to make it, but you can develop it. The second core trait is this: the ability to see micro failures as simple redirects. I can't stress this one enough. Had a failed launch? No big deal. It redirects you to trying it a different way next time. Have ads that aren't working? No problem. They're redirecting you to tweak your copy, your ads, your sales copy. Make the wrong hire? It's not a failure. It's redirecting you. Say, oh, I see where I went wrong. I don't want that personality. Oh, I shouldn't have hired for these traits. I got hired for these other traits. The ability to see micro failures as simple redirects will literally change everything about how you see the world. And the way you see the world is going to determine the outcome of your success or not. That's why it has everything to do with the core trait of someone who's destined for long-term success. I can't stress that enough. The ability to see micro failures as simple redirects changes your perspective, the lenses you're seeing the world through. You're either seeing the world through the lens of, I'm not good at this, I keep failing, I'm giving up. Or you're seeing the world through, all right, that's more feedback, let's try this. Oh, there's more feedback, let's turn left. Oh, there's more feedback, let's turn right. Oh, there's more feedback, let's try going down, let's try going up. And it stops you from getting paralyzed, and it stops you from beating yourself up, so that when you leave the house every day to go out and do battle, you're doing it with a full coat of armor. You're doing it with confidence that, all right, I have gotten this quote unquote feedback 50 times in a row. Number 51 is going to be the magic one, because I've already tried 50 things that didn't work. So my chances are literally getting better by stepping up to number 51. Does that make sense? You may not know this, but your chances of success are so much higher when you're in year 2, year 3, year 4 of a business that feels like it's stumbling, because you've already gotten all of the trial and error out of the way. So you think your chance of success is really good in the beginning. You're excited. It's a new idea. It's a fresh idea. You can't wait to launch it to the world. That's when your chances of success are the least. That's when you have the least chance of success, is when it's brand new. But after you've failed 50, 100, 200, 500 times, 500 failed ideas, micro failures, now you've eliminated so many wrong turns that you are destined to make the right turns more often going forward. The third core trait of someone destined for long-term success is the eagerness to invite and receive feedback. Now, that's kind of like the one I just said, the ability to see micro failures as simple redirects, but this is different. This is human to human. This is going to your customers and saying, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you would like to see this be a little bit better. Tell me how I can make this the greatest product in the world for you. Matter of fact, that's how we have built this new program that's coming out. That's how we went to every single past and possibly future customer, and we had conversations with them. Hey, what's missing in this space? Hey, if you could wave a magic wand, what would make this the best program on the planet? Hey, if anything's possible, if the amount of money we have to put into it to get it off the ground is not a limiting factor, what should we build? What are other people doing that you wish they did better or differently? What's missing from your current programs? The eagerness to invite and receive feedback, both before you start and especially after you start. And that's when it's tougher. We just ran our elite level mastermind a couple of weeks ago. It felt like the best one we have ever done. And tons of people came up and gave the party line of, oh, that was the best one. Oh, this is the best class. Oh, this is the best crew. Oh, that was the best speaker. And those feel good to get those dopamine hits. But what I really want is someone to tell me in a, of course, polite and constructive way, hey, here's what would make it even better. Hey, here's where we can go from a 7 to a 10 in this one thing. Hey, here's what would make me sign up over and over and over and over and over again. You want that feedback. It's the answers to the test. Like back when you were in school, when you'd sneak the answers to the test. Well, maybe I did. I don't know if you did. When you get the answers to the test ahead of time and you study them, you're like, this is awesome. No way I can fail now because I have the answers to the test before you take the test. That's what it's like when you have an eagerness to invite and receive feedback. I had a great conversation with one of my mastermind members. I do some private calls with them. And I asked on every one of those calls since we ran it a couple of weeks ago, hey, thanks for saying nice things, but what's one thing we could do better? Hey, thanks for saying nice things, but what is one thing we could tweak? Hey, thanks for all the good feedback, but if you could wave a magic wand, what's a cool idea that we haven't tried yet that would make this a no-brainer experience for you to be there every single year? And getting that feedback, while sometimes can feel kind of awkward at first, is the magic. It's what you want because it allows you to stay ahead of the pack. If you're closed off to feedback, matter of fact, if you're anything other than eager to receive, to invite and receive feedback, then quite honestly, you're going to wake up one day and you say, why isn't it working anymore? And the answers were in front of you all along. You just didn't want to hear them. The fourth core trait of somebody destined for long-term success, the courage to publicly change your mind. And I'm going to link another one with this. The courage to publicly proclaim your goals to the world and encourage support and accountability. This is all like one thing. The courage to publicly proclaim your goals out loud. Hey, Instagram. Hey, TikTok. Hey, YouTube. Here it is on record. This is what I'm going to build. This is what I'm going to accomplish. This is what I'm starting. Hold me accountable. Give me support. Share your ideas. Let me know when I'm slacking. Let me know when I'm doing something wrong. The courage to publicly proclaim your goals instead of being like, oh God, I don't want to share it because what if I fail? You're going to fail. Newsflash, you're going to fail your way to the finish line. And then you're going to feel so good when you get across that finish line. You're going to feel beaten. You're going to feel battered. You're going to be bruised. You're going to be cut. You're going to be tired. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to fail your way to the finish line. And then you're going to feel great. And you're going to get the medal and you're going to get the trophy and everyone's going to clap for you. And everyone's going to say, oh my God, I want a life just like yours. And they're not going to realize that you failed your way there. And so you don't have to have this fear of failure of, oh God, I don't want to tell people I'm starting to sing. I don't want to tell people what my goal is this year. I don't want to tell people what I want to earn because you're afraid then that you have to show up for it, or you're afraid that you're going to get feedback. That's actually what you want. So the courage to publicly proclaim your goals out loud. Hell, you should hit pause right now, jump right on Instagram, jump right on TikTok, do a quick video. Oh, hey guys, I realize I've never shared my goals with you. Here's my goals this year. Here's what I'm trying to build. Please send me anyone this way that you think could help me get there. Can you imagine the support that you would get? You know, internally, the way we're built as humans, people want to play the hero. So if you give them what you're trying to accomplish, then they know how to play the hero for you. Oh, here's an introduction. Here's a customer. Here's a shortcut. So you got to publicly proclaim your goals, but then you have to have the courage to publicly change your mind as well. And this is where people get stuck. It's the sunk cost fallacy. When you say, oh gosh, I've always shown up this one way, or I've always been known for this one thing, or I've always said I'm going to build X, Y, and Z. Somewhere along the line, you realize you have to pivot. Somewhere along the line, you realize you're not that guy or you're not that woman anymore. Somewhere along the line, you realize, hey, that was true to me 5 years ago, but it's not true to me today. You know, the world changes and people around you change, and you should be changing too. So in theory, it would be absolutely impossible for you to proclaim who you are or what your goal is or what you want to accomplish 10 years ago and be expected for that to be the same today in an entirely different world. So you have to be comfortable with, and you have to have the courage to publicly change your mind. Hey, world, I know that I said I was left-handed this whole time, but now I'm going to be right-handed. And I know that's a funny example, but I'm just showing you the extreme proclamations that you have to make sometimes. And by the way, when you do, the weight of the world suddenly leaves your shoulders. There is nothing heavier than being somebody outwardly who you no longer are or want to be. There is nothing heavier than building something outwardly that you no longer want to build, that is no longer a fit for you or your interests or your excitement. Now, don't get me wrong, there's integrity. If you make commitments and people are counting on those commitments, you must uphold the commitments. But once you've gotten past upholding the commitments or given your absolute best effort and exhausted every single thing on the planet, then it's okay to publicly change your mind and say, listen, I knew I was building a banana stand, but I'm not just switching to apples. I'm literally going to start selling Legos. And people are like, oh my God, that's crazy. You're building a banana stand. Why would you start selling Legos? Maybe you see an opportunity. Maybe you see the way the world has changed. Maybe you have changed with your ideas of what you want to bring to the world, what kind of value you want to bring to the world. So these two things link together. The courage to publicly proclaim your goals so that everyone can say, I know how to support you and come to the rescue. But then that same courage to publicly change your mind when you realize you're going down the wrong highway and you need to get off that exit and head in a different direction. That courage will be your secret to success and your secret to health and your secret to happiness and your secret to sanity. And then the last core trait of someone who is destined for long-term success is somebody who has the capability of critical thinking despite what's popular. I think of Warren Buffett, the amount of investments that he sells prior to anybody saying that's a failed investment. And they say, you're getting out too early. Why does he have all of his cash on the sidelines? And then you see something like what happened in the market the last couple of days. And you say, he was selling all of that Apple stock all along because he had a hunch that there'd be a tariff war and that Apple's cost to import iPhones and MacBooks and everything was going to be too prohibitive and that their stock was going to crash. The ability to be a critical thinker, despite what's popular, can be a very difficult thing because it makes you feel alienated. It makes you feel like you're making the wrong move. It makes you second guess everything. Boy, why are 90% of the people saying this, but I really believe in my heart the opposite? The ability to then examine that and find your own evidence and think critically, not from what the world is telling you to think, but from what you think might be true, and having the skill set of going and doing research to say, am I crazy or am I onto something here, is what will always give you the first mover advantage. It's what will always set you apart. And do you ever notice it's the outliers that we celebrate? It's the outliers that we cheer on. It's the outliers that we look up to. It's the outliers that we say, how did she get there? How did she think of that? How did he invent that? How did he pull that off? It's because at first, they're considered the crazy ones. At first, they're considered nuts. Before they're rich and famous and accomplished, they're just cuckoo. They're just wrong in everybody else's eyes. After they're successful and rich and famous and did the one thing that nobody else was thinking of or that everybody else thought couldn't be done, what are they then? They're the hero, they're the celebrity, they're the icon. That's why this last one, the ability to be a critical thinker despite what's popular, is the one that will absolutely make or break you and allow you to always have that first mover advantage. These are the core traits of someone who's destined for long-term success. If you hear these and you're like, okay, this is me, this checklist, most of these things, these are me, then rest assured, keep going, keep running, keep sprinting, keep paddling, because you're going to be just fine. If you hear these things and you're like, I am none of these things. I go with what's popular instead of being a critical thinker. I don't really have the courage to tell everyone what I want to build, what I really wish what my goals are. Or I don't have the courage to switch because everyone knows me as this, but I really want to be that. If you don't have the eagerness to literally go and say, hey, thanks for the kind reviews, but tell me what I could have done better. If you don't have the ability to see micro failures as simple redirects, but instead you get stuck on them as being failures, that chips away your confidence. If you don't have unwavering consistency, then you're not going to make it. The best news is all of these traits can be developed. At any given time, you can choose to be the most consistent person on the planet. At any given time, you can choose to publicly pivot and just say, hey, I'm a new person. Like it or not, who's with me? At any given time, you can say, tell me what I can do better. And just grin and bear it, even though it feels awkward to hear. You can build these core traits literally at the end of this podcast if you have not worked on them yet. You can flip a switch. When this podcast is over, that could be minute numero uno for you to be the better, more consistent, more honest, more courageable person. So whether you have these or whether you don't have these traits are your goals, and I'm here to help you with them. And by the way, don't forget about that wait list. It's going to be first come, first serve. It's going to sell out. There's not a chance in hell you're going to get a shot at one of these seats if you're not on the wait list for the world's most supportive mastermind. We're spending a ton of money to get you all this help so you don't have to spend it. Go to chrisharder.me/waitlist or text waitlist to 310-421-0416. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Love and appreciate you.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.